Welcome to Nameless Debate Radio, where radioactivity is contagious. You can join us in broadening our minds on the Nameless Debates Discord via the link below and even feature here yourself, if you've got what it takes.
Love this fella.
Is he server muted or is he just like?
No, he's just muted himself. I don't really know why.
Okay.
Do you want to talk, Lamassive?
Well, no, my sound was weird, so I had to restart my computer. What's up?
Oh, you know, memes and such.
I see.
Yeah.
How you doing, man? Okay.
Me? Doing fine.
Yeah. That's good.
Have you guys seen the new Greta Thunberg from Sweden?
The what?
Greta Thunberg. It's a 16-year-old activist for environment and stuff. I don't know what the
No.
Alright, she's kind of blowing up, I guess, and stuff like that. And everyone in
She
Sweden
gave
knows.
some speech in front of the EU thing, right?
Yeah.
No.
I think it's for the UN in Davos.
Yeah, UN. I saw some article about it.
Yeah. What's not being told is that she's autistic. She has a mom that is using her with a full PR staff, and it's just kind of sad to see, to be honest. I mean, maybe she has some points. I don't know, but not really. But
Sorry.
she's just being used by everyone because they want a child, because nobody can critique a child, right?
They can.
What?
Can I ask why?
Up here, nobody can critique a child. Not really.
I love
again,
critiquing
what?
children.
Aren't you literally doing just that?
Yeah, I am, but I don't care.
Yeah, the point
everybody else cares.
Sorry.
You stand out, right?
I do. Yeah, in the most parts, yeah. I do stand out for my own people.
I'm sure you do, man.
Can I ask why raising she's autistic is relevant?
Well,
My thoughts exactly, right?
The thing is that she has been indoctrinated in a worldview where she's not critiquing herself, so she doesn't have any. Well, she's not gone through. She's just been told, well, this is bad, and then she's come to, well, this has to be the solution. So her solution is basically just going around saying people has to stop flying, right? And now people are like, oh, this is the most fantastic thing ever. But if you know anything about a person with autism, it is not good for them to have this black and white view of the world, right? So while she can be correct that people should travel less with airplanes and stuff like that, it is not good for a person that has autism that to get the impression that having a black and white stand on everything in the world, which she has said several times that she has, is a good thing. So for her personal gain, it's not good.
Like I feel like Julius asked you to connect the autism, and I don't feel like you did.
I think I did very well.
I mean, like what does the autism have to do with it? Isn't it bad for anybody to have a black and white stance on the world?
Because it's not a good thing for a person.
It's not a good thing for anybody to have a black and white stance on the world. What is the autism?
That's true, but it's worse for a person with autism because that's their
where do you get that from?
Go-to view of everything.
I don't see how your reasoning follows.
Well, that's your problem. That's not my problem because it's very easy to see that if what's it called? Well, let's just say autism, right? So autism causes people to have a black and white view on everything, right? Not just politics, not just anything.
That's not what autism does, dude.
Yeah, it does.
Why don't you describe to me what autism does, like in a medical sense?
Yeah, but now
what do we think the disorder does?
This is very interesting what you're doing right now, because right now you're being dishonest in a debate. You're not interested in discussing this. You're interested in winning, right? You're not interested in actually knowing the problem with autism. You're not. You're not interested in that. You want to connect this. You want to connect this to something else, and then you say, "Well, I won because I don't agree with you." Now, if you don't know,
he's not saying he's win. He's saying that you're not.
With autism, if you don't know the consequences of a person with autism, that's fine with me. If you don't know that it's very common that they have a black and white.
Stop fucking talking, dude. Dude, stop talking.
Well,
Like,
if I
one,
stop
you're-
talking,
you're-
you will
Stop
you will
talking.
start with
Stop
nonsense.
talking.
This is what happened. No,
Stop.
like, and we need a chance to respond. You can't just monologue. We went through this last time. We argued with you. Every time someone else started
But I'm
talking,
not
you
done.
started. You're doing it again.
Don't fucking monologue,
But
or
you
you will get
started
muted.
screaming while
I'll
I
mute
talked.
you. Listen, I'll mute you. Okay? Stop monologuing.
Like, the point is, and like because you're making you're gish galloping right now. The point is Insync is not being dishonest, and when you raise something like that, you have to kind of allow him to run. What he's doing is he's disagreeing with how you're characterizing autism. So you need to agree first on what autism actually is to continue in the debate. That is not an unreasonable thing. I'm done.
That's hot.
Oh, yeah, he's muted. He fucking just muted himself. Fucking crypto fascists.
He also deafened himself, so he probably can't
Really
hear you
is.
guys.
No,
God damn.
he's a He's a fucking crypto fascist.
Did he assume
Yeah.
that?
He's
Wait,
definitely
if he was a
something of
fascist, wouldn't he be pro-environmentalism though?
He's a crypto fascist.
Wait, if he was a fascist,
He's
wouldn't
pro.
he be...
He's pro the
He is pro.
cybernetic
No,
environment.
he is pro environmentalism. I'm saying he's crypto. I'm not saying he's openly.
Then why? What is this whole? What is the point of this?
What?
This just seems like I don't know.
The fact that I finally got a chance to respond and he deafened himself is amazing. Is fundamentally true. I literally only spoke for like 10 seconds, maybe that. And then I said I'm done. And then it was just muted. He was muted that
Yeah,
time.
but Judas, you weren't the problem.
No, but it is so rude and dishonest. Like, for you to do that, you've just demonstrated that you're not worth engaging with for any of us.
It's not dishonest.
The
It's if I get server muted, I will mute my own. I will deafen myself. That's just how it's gonna work.
So you just want the ability to talk over people and not listen.
Well,
fuck off.
Yeah,
Fuck off.
yeah. You're not actually allowed to do that here. It's against the rules, dude.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that. Like, fuck
Yeah,
off.
I don't give a fuck what's against the rules.
Well,
Fuck
then
off,
you're
dude.
gonna get banned.
Yeah, alright, do it then.
Cool, I will.
Fuck off, crypto fascist. Fucking crypto
Time
fascist.
that up.
No, like, seriously, like, he just wants to grandstand on fucking hell. I hate these people.
NSYNC is wait. Why are there two NSYNCs in the chat?
There's not.
One's
People
everyone.
jokingly, like, we're jokingly taking instincts.
Oh wait, one of them is you, Julius. What the fuck?
Is it? Yeah. Oh no, I've changed my name back.
Julius,
Just
you
has an update.
trickster.
Oh my god.
Do you like the hand as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I love how it points at points at you.
He just points at someone.
Let's see.
What the
Someone's
fuck, Brian?
pulling a cone.
No,
That's the
fucking
way,
going to
Brian.
he's going to the toilet or something.
Was he?
Fucking hell. I think so. So
oh
rude.
my god.
But yeah.
But Brian probably gets off on making other people listen to him too.
Actually, I don't know what he's doing now. It sounds like he's filling a bath.
So, since
No, I was
you
being
guys don't actually know that a lot of people with autism, almost all of them, have a black and white thinking of most things. That's
No, but that's
unheard
not the
of.
point. The point is
Sure
that
it is.
autism isn't characterized by that.
It's
Like that's
okay.
that's not what autism is about.
Okay, no, okay, that's not a consequence of autism.
No, it may well be a consequence. I asked you though what autism does, and you didn't answer me.
Is that somehow
we have to get the
relevant in this
pizza.
discussion?
Of course, it's relevant. I get a
Why?
say in what's relevant to you, wanker.
No, I'm asking why is it relevant?
Why is it relevant?
Yeah.
Because it seems to me that the way that you're like analyzing the situation involves autism, and I don't see why it should.
You don't
Like-
see why a
Yes,
person...
yes, it seems to me that if you give me the definition of autism and what it involves, that we
Wait,
can
how-
work out that autism isn't fundamentally involved in the black and white perspective thing.
I feel like you guys are like two steps ahead. I still fail to understand how this was black and white thinking in the first place. Like,
Yeah, I don't
saying
know.
we should
I don't know.
reduce travel
Okay, it's called as
and-
polarized thinking patterns, right? You can Google that.
But wait, how is this black? How is this even black and white thinking at all? Just say like, hey, we shouldn't fly on planes as much.
Okay, so what? Okay, so you don't understand that. Okay, so what happens is that if you have a
I love the way he just
Let's say
automatically
polarized
assumes
thinking
people
pattern
don't
instead.
understand.
I'll say a polarized thinking pattern instead. Maybe that's better than black and white thinking, even though it's easier to understand. But okay. So what happens is that if you have...
I mean, now we're speaking of bipolar disorder more than anything else.
I've not said it's exclusive to anyone else or just autists.
Oh, I'm just saying, autism.
But I never said that.
I'm just saying, like, you are the one who brought up autism, and I asked you, and you still haven't answered me exactly what autism is about.
Oh my god! Why
don't you just answer the question?
Do you agree
why don't you just answer the fucking question?
Do you agree that having autism, then a consequence of this is having a black and white thinking or polarized?
Yes, but that is true for many different mental disorders. I don't see why autism is special. Why is autism? Why is autism specifically worth mentioning?
That's why it's relevant.
No, but that doesn't make it relevant, dude.
Sure it does. Why would? Oh my! No, not really.
I mean, unless your argument is that like anyone with a mental health disorder shouldn't be allowed to think in black and white ways, like.
Well, that's not. Yeah, that they shouldn't do it because it's actually.
Why don't they get the cognitive liberty?
What?
Why don't they get the cognitive liberty to think how they like?
Do you think that everyone should think what they like, even though it's wrong, even if they perceive things wrong?
Yes.
Then you would never argue with me. Shut the fuck up then.
No, that's not true. I think that people want to see things correctly, but you're welcome to see whatever you like. It's not up to me to tell you what you're allowed to see in the world.
Well, if it's not up to you, you're not a part of society. You don't care what society thinks and what people.
You caught me. You caught me.
Yeah.
Clever. You are so very clever.
Do you think it's good for a person that has autism? Right?
I don't think you need to say anything about the fucking autism.
I think I do. God. I think I do, because obviously that's going to skew her perspective on the information she gets. Yes or no?
Oh my god.
Yes or no?
Probably a little bit, yeah.
A little bit. Are you kidding me? Have you met autists? Have you met anyone on the autism spectrum ever?
Yep.
I mean, it seems like you have it yourself, to be honest.
Got him.
Wait, so how is this black and white thinking?
I don't know, but I've apparently got autism. That's what I've learned.
No, yeah, well, in the way that you argue all the time, yeah.
Yeah, you got me, dude.
I'm not saying you have it, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Well, I mean, you did say that, though.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
It seems like it. That doesn't say it. Oh, you have autism, right? Is that the same now?
Yeah, you're so eloquent. Again? You're so eloquent.
So anyway,
educate me, Daddy.
Do you yeah? Here we go. So do you think that someone who has a disorder, well, this is what's it called, a developmental disorder, whatever? Do you think that it's good for them to be indoctrinated? With
it's not good for anybody to be indoctrinated.
Well,
I don't distinguish the developmentally disabled
in terms they are more or less vulnerable.
I don't distinguish in terms of how vulnerable you are. I just say indoctrination is bad. Full stop. It's not worse to indoctrinate. No. It's not worse to indoctrinate vulnerable people than it is to indoctrinate other people.
Actually, I think it's probably worse to indoctrinate a normal person.
Yeah, I reckon, right?
Yeah.
Like they've got more going.
A person is probably capable of so much.
Wait, okay. So you think it's? Oh, I see. So it's worse in trying to indoctrinate someone, while someone who is basically their mind is wired, so they are easily manipulated and indoctrinated. It's okay to manipulate them, but not.
I didn't say it was okay. Do you know what a straw man is?
No, I'm just curious. Is that okay?
I mean, are you just curious? No. I mean, you did say that, but no, that's not okay.
Okay, so
I said it's listen. Okay like Spider said. Like Spider said, it's more okay.
It's more okay.
Yes.
What does that mean then in the scale?
It's less wrong.
It's less wrong. So then it would be more okay. Then I wasn't wrong when I said it's more okay indoctrinating a weaker person who's more vulnerable.
No, because I'm not. You're not listening, dude. I didn't say that. I said it was more wrong to indoctrinate someone who had more to offer.
Why? Out of what scale?
I don't know, because I said so.
Just your world perspective.
Yeah, man. Whatever.
Do you think that there's some sort of ethics or something that says that maybe you shouldn't take advantage of people who are extra weak?
I don't really care about the fact that they're extra
I don't think
weak.
you should
That's
take
not
advantage of anyone. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a relevant part of the analysis that they're
I'll be
specifically
back in a
extra weak.
This is retarded.
Like, it's
Man,
so
this is
weird.
going up
You're
on
like,
the YouTube
you're
channel.
like,
I'll
you
be back in a second.
specifically
Wait,
shouldn't
hold
take
that,
advantage of the
I'll be
weak, and
back.
it's like, isn't it just categorical? You don't take advantage of people. Like, not many people I've met qualify it with don't take advantage specifically of weak people. Strong people, you can fuck those over. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Is anybody else following the argument? Am I missing something?
I don't understand how this was black and white thinking to begin with.
I just don't
keep
understand.
trying to drag this fucking conversation back to that because we're not going.
Okay,
anywhere.
I'll let you if you want. Like, you can just talk to him. I find him really hard to talk to. He's such a dickhead.
Can you bring the conversation back to like how he knows that she was indoctrinated? I think he just assumed that she was indoctrinated because she has autism.
Jesus, let's see.
Yeah, boy, first turret.
I'm gonna go to bed. It's 2 a.m.
Lame.
What?
No more ice
I have to sleep. I'm tired.
No, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to sleep.
No.
You can always just die. You know.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Actually, you can stay up for days on end without dying. But I've found that after about 45, 50 hours, your cognitive abilities start to decline rapidly.
Yeah, well, when I get like less than my actual amount of sleep, I just don't function. I like walk into and stuff. So
your actual amount.
What?
Your actual amount. How much is that?
Like 7 to 8 hours.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I sleep for 7 to 8 hours every night.
Too much, dude.
No, that's just perfect.
You're wasting your life sleeping.
What? What did he say, Spider?
I said you're wasting your life sleeping.
No, sleep is amazing. Why would you say that?
So sleep is pretty awesome. I'll give you that.
Yeah. And it's like when I've tried to like function on like 3 or 4 hours, I can't do it. Like I've like left the house without putting shoes on and then been like, okay, wait, I don't have shoes on. And then I have to come back and put my shoes on, and it's insane. Like
that was the craziest story.
That was just like a
tell me something else you forgot.
Mundane.
So I think last semester, like before finals week, I lost track of what day it was, and I thought that my final was a day before than it actually was, and I started panicking because I still had the portion to finish. Yeah, and then
this is like the most mundane story I've ever
Oh my
heard.
god, this is okay. I'm a boring person. This is
How
interesting.
can you live with such a stressful
GG.
life?
Oh my god.
GG.
I don't know. I think the shoe thing was well. I could always tell Insync the story of how I told you the one.
Yeah, why don't you tell us the story of how you poured milk on your breakfast cereal? I like hearing that one.
Spider, are you being passive
you such a
for
hard
no
time,
reason?
Oh my god.
Is this because
Spiders are me.
No, he's doing this because we talked for like a couple of hours yesterday, and then I still wouldn't concede. So.
Oh, Spider's a salt lord.
Yeah.
Hey, Spider, are you still salty that Vivi won't admit that he's an atheist?
No, I'm not, because Vivi is at like the bottom of my retard list right now.
Dude, Vivi's a smart guy.
No, I don't think so.
He is.
I think
you're aware that you do aware that like okay, so you know how I raised the other day because I got into him about like the his internal biases that he's trying to retroactively justify in sync, right?
Yes, of course. Yep.
I got the next day I got Midnight to come on and explain to him in detail like why he's wrong, because Midnight actually is an authority in that field. And then a week later, I still heard him parroting the exact same points he'd made.
I could have told you guys this shit like a month ago. We don't need to call experts in here.
He's demonstrated to be wrong and holds on to his positions anyway.
Yeah, because
I think he just has trouble like adapting in the moment.
No, but like
no.
The point is
It's true.
On this topic. He's been deconstructed again and again and again and again and again, and still holds to it. And he can't actually justify it, but he just keeps his kind of like intuitive bias keeps reasserting itself.
I mean, Julius, come on, like mouths are for mouths, privates are for privates.
Yeah,
he said that.
Yeah, and it was with me and Spider at that
No,
time.
dude, I've heard him make the argument. Like, it's not a good one. And, like, it comes down to the fact that, like, he's had those attitudes inculcated into him.
I understand, but he doesn't. But he refuses to. He
hasn't yet adapted. He doesn't refuse to. He's
able to.
Yes, currently, I'm telling you, he's one of the most like cooperative people I've ever met. He's very.
Well, I don't think
he's very amicable. Like he'll say, "Oh yes, I."
No. Like I've
but
like.
He will never ever concede anything.
That's not true. That's not true. Ask him. Like get him here, dude. He's conceded to me like at least a dozen times.
Oh, he's conceded to me a million times. But if I talk to him now, we'll literally repeat the same argument we've had.
Well, that doesn't happen for me. The points that I get him to concede on, like for instance, he did not believe in determinism before he met me, and we've not conflicted over it since.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I think he does concede on some things, but on some things he does. On other things, he seems to be unable to, and his internal biases seem to reassert. And not just on this. Like the thing with VP, I had the same exact argument independently of Spider about whether or not he's a theist or not.
No, I know, and that specific topic he's a bit dogmatic on, but I'm saying like specifically that one, it comes down to the fact that
dogmatic on anything relating to religion and his culture.
Nah, he's not. It's specifically so look, part of it is he actually has like a phobia of bodily fluids. Has he told you that?
You've raised it, right? And that's fine, but then he can't justify it past himself.
No, but the point is that he thinks he's making sense already, you know?
But we've literally demonstrated
centric thinking.
I understand.
The point that I'm making is, right, like he recognizes that he's probably wrong about it, but it feels natural to him, and he thinks he's making a valid argument. Once we've been able to convince him sufficiently that he's not, he will change his mind.
That is improbable. Just based on what
he doesn't believe in God.
Yeah, but people self-delude themselves all the time. That's why you see people having ideologies, no? Like more extreme ideologies.
I mean, that's definitely part of the reason, for sure.
Well, I've spoken with a lot of feminists, for example, and when we talk more just on a logical, rational basis, they usually say like, well, I agree with what you say, but I feel that it's wrong, so I'm not going to agree with you, which they've actually said several times. So that's where you have to have some sort of trauma, or you have to have some sort of huge impact where you kind of shatter your glass doors, right?
Wait, Massive. I wanted to ask earlier about why you thought this girl was being exposed to like black and white thinking on this issue.
No, I didn't think she was exposed to black and white thinking, but in a sense, while there is climate change, we can observe it, right? It's not hard. Okay. One of the big issues is that when you fight for something, when you have an ideology or something, and you go into a good or bad side, right? When you start doing that, you're not going forward.
Wait, you go into a a good or bad what?
Side, where you have like, oh, these are good people, or these are good thoughts, these are bad thoughts, right? When you go into that kind of state of mind.
He's talking about moralizing.
Okay, yeah, I don't know, maybe. Anyway, when you do that, you don't have progress, you have fights instead, right? So,
well, but like, I mean, you could say, for instance, like, I'm on the side of progress. Like, you would say you're for moving forward, but these two other sides are going to look at you and say, dude, you've just invented a third side. Like, from our standpoint, what you're doing isn't moving forward. Like, every side thinks it's moving forward, right? That's why they're on that side.
I don't believe
doubt,
so.
Right? That's true.
Like, I mean, you're on a side to progress something, right? I mean, I guess it's possible to have a side that's literally like just antagonistic, but I don't see how that would exist. Like, really, I have a hard time imagining that.
So, the positive thing about having these kinds of sides is that you're creating a sort of competition where you want to prove the other side wrong, which means that researchers go into disproving the statements of the other side, right? Where you can see, for example, how the scientific community versus the religious community throughout history, right? So you could say, okay, well, that's good. Now, I'm not saying this on a macro level. I'm saying on an individual level. I don't think it's good when you have a person who is vulnerable to this type of thinking that has a
I don't
mother
think it's good
that
in
has...
general.
So it just seems like you're saying, like, okay, so can this person never participate in any sort of like ideology
competitive enterprise, right?
or
I wouldn't exclude a person with autism. I have no reason to do it, but I have high doubts when the person has a mother who's an extreme SJW, who is figured in trying to... she doesn't have any reason at all, ever, when she speaks. It's only emotional. She has an entire environment that is dedicated not to truth, but to belief. She has a PR team that is styling her and telling her what to do. I think, yes, then you can question if that is a good childhood for that person, and if she should be believed based on just saying things like, we should all stop flying.
Is this like check?
I feel like you're
she's
stringing
just saying,
like a whole bunch of disconnected things together.
I mean, if this like little girl came out and said, "Hey, we should recycle more," would you be saying the same thing? Like, this seems like the level of like statement this kid is advocating for.
The problem is that she's not giving any solutions, right? Not really.
Well, isn't the solution?
I mean, didn't you just change what you thought the problem was? I swear you were just saying something else. It wasn't that she wasn't giving solutions before now. Before, you were saying it's a problem that she has such a black and white view because she's got autism.
I think that's a problem as well.
Well, wait, but like, this isn't the solution not flying on airplanes as much? Isn't that how this got started?
Could you repeat that?
Wasn't the solution like, hey, let's not fly on airplanes as much?
Do you think that's a viable solution in our today, that everyone should stop flying?
Yeah, I think a lot of business trips and shit are like unnecessary. Yeah, I think
and what I said earlier, if you heard, right? I said I think it could be good if it could be reduced for joy flights and stuff. It doesn't mean that everyone should just stop flying, and that's a viable solution to global.
Did you say that we should literally not have airplanes? I could swear you said that she said we should just
stop flying, and that's being applauded by everyone. Okay, that's very good. That's very nice. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you literally just represented her view as people shouldn't fly on airplanes as much.
Well, I agree that you should stop joyriding.
I'm not asking what you agree. I'm saying that you said that what she said was people should stop flying on airplanes as much.
Altogether, basically.
Who's she?
No, you can't just say altogether. Basically, is it that she?
Who is she?
Nobody fucking knows.
I can find your thing. I just saw it pop up.
Idiot.
No, I'm just confused.
If some family marched out their fucking autistic grandson or whatever, and he was like, "Hey guys, don't litter." Like, are you really gonna come out like, this fucking child has been indoctrinated by these like radical environmentalists?
What a black and white view.
There's a difference.
Really? Like, yeah, you seem to be engaging in some pretty black and white thinking here. I don't know.
Do you understand that there's a difference if a child just says stop litter, okay, or a child says, oh, we should have world peace?
I mean, do you think stopping litter is viable? Do you think we can just stop littering altogether? I don't think that's viable.
Did I ever say so?
No.
I'm not
I was asking
I'm
you a
not
question.
talking about actually her concept of saying, "Oh, we should stop flying." And she said, everyone should stop flying. That's the best for nature. Of course, that's not viable. Never said that. Now you're taking it, like I said, in a very black and white yourself. I said that this is
everybody
not good
else
for the
but
child.
you is black and
It is
white,
not
right?
good for the child, and it's probably not viable because you have a lot of people that will misinterpret it, and they will use this to benefit themselves. Using a child who has autism, who has been indoctrinated by her environment, and they will use it as a flag or a beacon because she's so pure, because she's so young.
I mean, do you think it's like wrong
that she's using fear
say
and
we
she's
should reduce flying?
Yeah, I think it's wrong because she's not discussing and she's taking valuable time for people who actually know anything about this.
Is it that she has autism that causes her not to know anything?
No, it's her actual replies, what she said in the interview in Skavlan, for example, what she said in podcasts, what she said in radio, what she said in different interviews. She doesn't know anything about it. She repeats some statistics that she's learned. That's everything. And then she says, this is bad, our house is on fire, we're all gonna die, we have to do it, the future is ours, you have to listen to us, we are the children. Okay, that's just bullshit.
How old is this girl?
16, but she looks like she's 12 or something.
Okay. When you said child, I don't know. When you said child, I was thinking like she was like 6. Knowing that she's 16, I think my few remaining reservations have just like gone out the window.
Oh, okay. So you don't think that she's been indoctrinated since she was a kid? Because this has been
dude.
I don't know.
I just don't actually understand how you managed to spend so fucking long talking about nothing.
Nothing? What is nothing then?
Yeah, fucking nothing. This topic is nothing. What are you even talking about, man?
I've not been able to I've not been able to find any. Can you source where she says that she said we shouldn't fly at all? Although I actually don't think that is an entirely unreasonable position. Is that we should look towards different forms of transport.
You have to look in the Swedish show called Skavlan.
I mean, can't you show us? You're the fucking Swedish guy, dude.
Yeah, but
like, why the fuck would we have to go and find your source?
I just said where you can find it.
No, dude, you're the one who's making the positive claim, mate.
Not even that. You jumped in the call and then just made us start talking about this. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I reckon.
Wait.
And then he refuses to provide any sources. Like, what the fuck?
Because I am researching and I am googling her, and I can't speak Swedish, so
pretty good reason.
I found something that said that she and her mother have stopped flying around.
Yeah, her family gave up flying.
Yeah. She probably has different views here. Here you go. You can translate that, for example. There you go. Have fun.
I can translate.
Thank you for allowing us to translate.
Right?
No, what do you mean? So you're yes, it is because I can't.
Hey, you know what it says immediately? It says I have stopped flying.
What?
That's what it says on the video. In quotations, it says, I have stopped flying. I just translated the page you linked.
And it says here, Greta Thunberg, speech in Davos. Stop flying right now.
Yeah, she told them to.
Yeah.
So?
I'm sorry, is that a substitute for a rebuttal of a position, just making...
No, I'm just saying because he starts screaming.
Alright, so wait, hang on. So, like...
I started screaming, did I?
Yeah.
So,
I stopped flying. That's the first thing. You didn't even read this shit. Jesus Christ.
So
you got me.
Maybe
like,
if you...
You think the translations are correct always?
Is the tragedy here really that, like, some fucking 16-year-old autistic kid...
Excuse me. You just said the translations aren't always correct, but you're not personally willing to provide us with an accurate translation.
Well, I just did that.
So, wait.
You literally said we had to find our own fucking translation.
Yeah.
When we did, and you've now criticized our ability to translate it. Do you understand how
you didn't find any translation?
Do you understand how intellectually dishonest you are?
Don't do that, Julius. What was the contention?
Oh my god.
What was the contention that we were checking the source for?
Oh my god, I just went to pick up a pizza and you
Shut the fuck up, Ryan. What was the contention? Does anybody know? What was the contention?
He was making an absolute claim that they said that, like,
Did they said what? Sorry. Oh, that she didn't. He say like she like quoted statistics that she just memorized, but she didn't really know anything, and that she was autistic. But what else did he say?
It's like I don't
like we.
This just seems like a pit and like, oh no, like some 16-year-old autistic girl is telling
What I
people to
missed.
like stop.
Yeah, I just don't understand.
Putting fucking plastic bottles in the trash instead of the recycling.
I think he just took a bunch of random like things that he.
I have stopped flying. I did because I wanted to. If I were to continue flying, and telling others to reduce their carbon footprint, and so basically they're telling others to stop flying as well. They're suggesting that we reduce and stop flying. I don't think that's what I'm reading out of it.
No, yeah, reducing your carbon footprint. If you want to personally do that, I don't really have a problem with that.
So this is probably an incorrect translation, right? And this is what it came out to in a translation bot.
Yeah, that seems that seems right.
Yeah, so what were
they're
you
saying
about
they literally haven't said everyone needs to stop flying now. They said that if I were to criticize others to not in reducing their carbon footprint, but then take activities.
No, I think he's talking about the speech.
Oh my god!
Are you talking about the speech that she gave, dude?
Yes, and the many.
So wait. You've listened to it. It boggles my fucking mind the way you expect us to be automatically up to date on some obscure piece of Swedish politics.
No, because that's not where
dude,
I'm coming from.
But the point that I'm making is like you're like acting frustrated that we're asking you to explain to us something that you are like acting as if we should know when it's a random obscure piece of politics in your country.
No, it's not in my country. The UN.
You're not Swedish?
No, apparently she did give a speech to the UN.
No, I know, but I'm sure it's much bigger news in the country she's from than anywhere else, dude.
Not really, no.
Yes, really, dude.
Well, you would think so, but it's blowing up much bigger in Germany and UK, so they're larger countries, so by default they're larger. And
for sure. No, I just meant that it would get more actual news coverage in the country she's from. That makes a lot of sense.
Okay, but the original point. Can we go back to the original point? Because this is just sideways.
What do you think the original point was?
The original point is that I don't think they should use a child. That people should. The only reason she's getting really, really popular is because people here. I don't know how it is in your country, right? But here and most people in Europe, people are afraid of criticizing a child that stands for something because they think the child might become sad or they're themselves villains. That's the original point, right?
Yeah, it's not really like that here, sorry.
Yeah, but it is like that here.
Is that in Sweden?
Well, in Europe, I would say, at least northwestern Europe.
Do you live in Sweden?
Yes.
Yeah, it's an idiosyncratic perspective, don't you think?
The thing is that this is bigger than Sweden, right? So it's not just in Sweden, it's bigger than Sweden.
I think the point that I'm making, though, is that like he constantly acts as if other people should know what he's talking about already.
Yeah, but like, if you assume that's more than just Sweden, that everyone should know this is big politics.
Well, I mean, I don't even.
I never said that. That's irrelevant.
I live in like three of the people in the chat live in fucking Australia.
Statement.
I know, but
okay. So I've now read.
The original statement is it okay to use a child for your own ideology and push her, even though she has developmental disorder?
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yes, people are allowed to bring up their children to believe what they believe if they want
dude,
to.
like, should we ban fucking children from entering a church?
Yeah, dude.
Until they're
fucking
like 16
Nazis aren't allowed to procreate because they're definitely going to teach their children their racist
I turned on the
beliefs.
TV and there was a show called Caillou, and this autistic child.
You do know that people
preaching
that
all this crazy ideology
are actually.
Man, I reckon there's probably like a strong affirmative link between the autism and the crazy spouting.
Do you understand that here, for example, if someone would be a full-on Nazi, have children, and made them into be Nazis, they would lose their custody, right? You know that?
No, they wouldn't.
Yes, they would.
No, they wouldn't.
No, they're not in America. They would not.
Not in my country, yeah.
It has to do with Swedish laws, right? So here, that would
I
happen.
mean, why do you keep fucking referring back to your
Because I'm
country as if
Sweden and
everybody
I'm
lives
from
there?
Sweden. This is a Swedish.
This is not a Swedish server, you wanker.
So
stop acting as if everybody else
it's
here
my
is from
perspective.
Sweden.
Okay, I stop. Okay, so you think that it's only your perspective that's viable,
dude. Does recycling really qualify as like an ideology?
Indoctrination.
Right, like don't throw your shit on the floor. I think.
You get indoctrinated.
Are we comparing this to like?
We'll put a fucking teenager on TV, and she tells other teenagers that they should make their bed because it's good for their mental health, and you're saying, "Fuck that! This girl's got a mental illness, and they're taking advantage of her."
Like if I see someone throw a plastic cup on the ground, I think that person's an idiot. You know, because I mean, why would you throw garbage on the floor where you live?
I saw some 9-year-old on the TV saying.
What if I'm not where?
When it comes to that subject, I do believe that.
Well, I meant you live on Earth.
That people should not be
trashing your home.
into a religion until.
No, but is littering okay if you don't live in the place you're littering?
What?
Well, I would consider like I'm saying like
it's better.
Like Earth.
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said, so you're joking.
Yeah, littering in somewhere where you don't live, that's slightly better, apparently.
Yeah, dude.
What? No, I'm saying you're on Earth. You live on Earth. If you throw garbage on the ground on Earth.
No, dude. I mean, like, if you go to a different country, if you go to a different country and you like drop litter on the ground, it's way less likely to affect you than if you drop litter on the ground.
I know, but it's just it's
still
still
try Shanghai.
It's still a dick move just to like throw garbage on the ground.
Oh yeah, I don't think anyone denies it's a dick move. I don't even think the people who do it deny it's a dick move. They just don't give a shit, dude.
Right. It's just when you throw garbage on the ground, even in another country, you're contributing to that problem.
Well, I used to litter all the time.
Right, and you were an idiot for that.
I don't know if I was an idiot.
You were ignorant, maybe, to the.
I hadn't yet figured out why I ought not to litter. Let's say.
Right. Like nowadays, if one of my friends throws garbage out of the car while I'm driving, I'll pull over and pick it up because fucking ridiculous.
Dude, I'll pull over. I'll tell them to pick it up.
Dude, that would not fucking work in my friends group, dude. They'd start.
Well, I make them pick them up most of the time.
No, dude, they'll start throwing rubbish out the window just to meme you.
Oh well, I mean, then we'll be stopped on the side of the road for a while they pick it up.
Yeah, I think that you're really underestimating how stubborn these cunts can be.
Well, you're dealing with stubborn Aussie cunts.
Yes,
that's a whole different category. Now, hold on. I want to go back to.
All different
someone's teaching someone something from birth. If someone's teaching something from birth, hold on. If someone's teaching something from birth, can it be bad? Can it be like unethical to push your beliefs?
Of course, it can be.
Okay, so like having a like Julius. Me and you were talking about these.
So, for instance, let me give you an example.
No, I have an example. No, I have an example. A real world example.
I have an example. But I wanted to start really strong.
Insane.
Why do you hate me?
Come on. Okay, so like being brought up in Mormon religion and being forced to go to Mormon school.
Unethical.
And
okay, I think cults. Yeah, cults shouldn't be allowed.
Okay.
Oh, you mean like the climate change cult? Okay, got it.
What about Catholics? Growing up Catholic and going to Catholic school.
I don't know. I think we'd have to have someone deciding what was a religion and what was a cult. But like, there are definitely things that call themselves religions that we know are cults. Jehovah's Witnesses are cults.
But I think when you push someone towards a religion, when they're going to like a religious private school, you're doing that knowing they might have the possibility that they're eventually going to run into existentialism. Maybe God doesn't exist kind of mindset because they're getting more and more likely to run into that nowadays. And that's
if you send them to a religious school,
that's something that's going to greatly impact their life.
How are they more likely to run into it?
No. I'm saying you're more likely as a whole in this day and age to run into.
Shut the fuck up for a second.
I feel like you're more likely nowadays to run into the atheist, not the atheist worldview, but whole maybe God doesn't exist worldview.
Oh yeah, for sure. But the thing about religious schools is that they're very fond of teaching you clever ways to talk and write that get around the objections, or they think that.
I feel like it's getting harder though. Like when I was young, and I still believed in God. Yeah, I know the whole defense mechanisms that you get.
Look, I think there's definitely something to be said about the age of information making it much harder to believe in God.
But see, I would argue that the defense mechanisms they indoctrinate into you are unethical to push on you. You know, the whole...
Which defense mechanisms?
Okay, so like when I was discovering this, my defense mechanisms were to react with anger and fear. You know, that's because that's the thing. It's like a fight or flight.
No, but that's human.
You're
that's
taking
that's
some...
not you being indoctrinated, right? That's human.
Yeah, no, but they act on that. They act on that whole... You know, they're trying... When someone proposes to you that God doesn't exist, and you believe that in your entire life, and you base your entire like morals and stuff, your objective morals on God.
Yep.
And then someone's like, "Oh, maybe he doesn't exist," and then you start thinking about it. You know, that's a whole that's the thing you've lived your life on.
It's not only that you bet.
I'm confused. Wait, Lamassive. Wait a sec, Lamassive.
In your afterlife.
Wait a sec, Lamassive. Okay. So I'm confused, Hoovers. Can you like restate your point for me quickly?
No, yeah, I worded that terribly. Okay, so my thing is maybe the defense mechanisms that they teach you in schools, or that they teach you in the private religious schools, to play out when someone, you know, tries to come at you with evidence that God doesn't exist, is bad. Like that. That's
so the defense mechanisms, such as,
you just have to have faith, man.
Okay, but I don't think that.
I think that perpetuates ignorance.
Okay, so here's wait.
But I've studied religion at university several times, and I've seen many of the defense mechanisms that he's talking about, right? So what happens is that you introduce the concept of the soul, right, and the afterlife. For example, right? I'm just taking one example. So this is obviously very valuable to you, and why would you want to gamble this away, saying there is no God, because you can't see any proof of this? This is where faith come in, and this is what they're pushing for. Like, it is such uncertainty that it is much better, much safer to bet that there is a God, right? Just
I mean, have you ever heard of Pascal's wager?
I have not.
Maybe, I don't know. It seems.
I mean, that's a much better formulation of that argument than you.
Yeah, no, I worded mine kind of a little badly. I'm tired. Sorry.
So Pascal's argument, Pascal's wager, is like it's an attempt to formalize the idea that it is probabilistically beneficial to believe in God, and like he did it quite well, but it's not ultimately convincing. So I'm not, like in terms of like the argument that it's better for you to believe in God just in case, that does not convince me.
Well, that doesn't convince you, but you know that there are lots of different people who think and sort information in different ways than you, right?
Well, yeah, but like,
I mean, it's not logically compelling.
It definitely depends on how much that person depends on their religion. Because if they base all of their morals on that religion, when you propose to them the idea that God doesn't exist and they start thinking about that, they instantly become fearful and angry because you're taking away the very thing that they base their life on at that point.
Yeah, but you can work around that.
How so?
But just with time.
Yeah, time. No, I went through that stage. That's how I adopted nihilism for a little bit there, and
I remember your silly nihilism.
What? But
my name is dude.
Using yourself as an example about every person in the world.
Dude.
No.
My name is InSync. It's not OneSync.
Well, it's a one, so there you
go. It's not OneSync.
No, I'm not trying to use myself as an example, but I mean,
like,
he said that about me, dude.
Oh, okay.
Even if we ignore Hoovus as the singular, like nobody in the world should actually make Pascal's wager, because you can use this line of argumentation to justify literally anything. Like,
for sure,
yeah, and people do that all the time. That's exactly.
It's not good.
I know, but like, you don't even wait a minute, like Lamassive, you don't actually even know what we're talking about. We're talking about an argument, Pascal's wager.
Yeah, I have it up here. I just read it, so I know
just
what you're
read
talking
it. Okay, my bad then.
Yeah, you shouldn't. You shouldn't.
I don't find it. I don't find it compelling. But I think the point is that that's the type of argument he was trying to make, and I would say Pascal formulated that one best, and it's still not compelling.
Well, if I talk
the type of argument I was trying to make.
No.
No, that's what Lamassive was saying.
Oh.
Because like Lamassive, if I tell you, hey, you know, there is some chance that you'll go to hell forever unless you pay me $1 million. You know, I don't know what the probability is, but the reward is infinitely bad. So really, you should pay me $1 million because that's not infinitely bad.
Well, yeah,
is that Pascal's wager?
If you apply this line of argumentation, like you can justify anything.
But Spider, have you read about the golden tickets in USA, the scam, golden ticket scam, or whatever it's called?
What?
Yeah,
they're selling places in heaven for money. You know?
Oh, that's like ancient.
Stupid.
Well, wait, that's not what I was getting. It's the fact that like, just because you say, well, you know, it's technically possible because it's always possible for anything to happen, that there will be a, you know, like, I don't want to use the word infinite because I know Instinct you don't like that word, but a reward of like negative as far down as you can go for doing any arbitrary action, then like you should therefore do what prevents that. Because like A, you can use this to argue for anything, and B, like it's self-defeating, right? I could say, well, what if there's an anti-god? You know, what if there's
just quickly,
not religious, right?
Like, no, massive. Just quickly, just to address the first thing he said. Like, I think it's like relatively unequivocally like decided that when we're talking about like whether or not that is a good justification, or a justification is good. Any justification that works for any situation is not a good justification. Right? Because if it's not justified, like based on the situation's variables, right? You're just saying like it's categorically justified, but like we don't agree with the category that you're applying. Then how are we supposed to accept it from
you? Okay. Can I just take an example that we started from Sweden? This is just why Swedes behave in a certain way, that they're very lawful, right? A majority of all Swedes think that they are surveillanced, right, by something all of the time.
Why do you keep saying right? We don't know.
Right, but okay, a majority of Swedes used to think that they were surveillanced by something. Not cameras, per se, maybe, just people or other things. So in their best position, that's why crime was so low, right here. A big part of it was that we thought that we were surveilled by something, right?
To say that crime is low just because all people in Sweden were looking over their backs thinking they were being recorded, like
not just recorded, but there might be a god and stuff like that, right?
Just quickly, Lamassive. I would really appreciate it if you don't say right. It bothers me because it makes it seem like you're expecting us to agree all the time, and often we don't, and we can't get anywhere while you keep asking us to agree.
It's just a habit of mine. So
and like, I mean, like, atheists are underrepresented in prison populations, so I don't think this holds up at all.
Is that true?
Yeah, it is.
I feel like they would be afraid to admit if they were atheists in a prison population.
No, but don't you think part of that is that once you, like, when people go to prison, they often convert to a religion?
Oh, definitely, because they're faced with the consequences of their actions and the possibility that when they die, they might go to fucking eternal hellfire, which probably scares the fucking bejesus out of them.
Also, it looks really good for the parole board.
That too, but the possibility, like if someone's spending life in prison,
it's true, dude.
And there's like a slight possibility that they might go to hell when they die, they'll probably go with some religion.
Do they have?
I don't know though. I feel like we're giving like the idea of hell way too much credit. You know, like
it's weird.
The possibility of hell, right? That you have to.
But like, why would there be such a thing as hell? Like maybe there could be an afterlife.
Because people are indoctrinated from birth, knowing that if they do something bad things will happen to them.
But like I'm just saying, like logically, right? Hell.
Yeah.
Hell.
But
come
on.
Are not logical. What does that mean? Hell.
HE double hockey sticks.
People are logical. Why do you assume that? Why do you assume that people are logical?
Because we are emotional creatures with a rational mind.
Right.
I would say that a lot of people don't have a rational mind. They are just full on.
But I'm telling you, by definition, we are a rational creature as well.
Oh, hey, NSYNC. So I don't have the actual stat, but I'm guessing that's not like people converting in prison doesn't account for much, because so according to let's see, in New York, 80% of prisoners who find faith convert to Islam.
Yeah, I knew that actually.
Yeah.
Why do they convert to Islam?
I think it's because Islam. Islam is really good for recruiting people who feel like outsiders.
Especially in like the United States.
Which is why the black community adopted Islam instead of Christianity when they wanted to be forceful.
You say these things, I don't understand where you get them from.
And so
he's
I think
not
you just dislike Lamasiv and you disagree with everything.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
That's the only thing you're doing.
no, I don't understand where the information comes from. It just comes out of nowhere.
I think you're predisposed to like dislike most things Lamasiv says.
I think that's probably correct, but that's not what I'm
correct. Lamas is kind of correct. Sometimes they did. Sometimes they didn't. Like Malcolm X and the Nation of Islam was very big in the prison population, and it was Islamic, but that doesn't mean that all of them were, because there was a lot of riots that were done in like Christian South, like with with MLK, and there was like the Black Panther Party who weren't strictly Islamic, so you can't really make that claim.
What is my state doing? Illinois. What are you doing with all those atheists?
Illinois.
The thing is that, of course, in my opinion, this is just my opinion from what I've seen, studied, and read, is that
I appreciate that.
When the black community formed after being in the white community, many remained Christian, but those who felt outside, they looked to other things that would give them an identity. They looked to Africa. They looked to another religion that would unify them. That was very important to them. So
Africa?
Yes.
Yeah, some
Isn't Islam from the Middle East though?
Kind
There's
of. Well,
plenty
kind
of
of.
Muslims in Africa. Don't worry about that.
During the civil rights
No,
movement,
but I just mean like if we're talking about like they looked somewhere else for the culture.
Yes. If you want a unifying force, you look usually to a religion, and if white people in USA have Christianity, what would be the rivaling religion then, in your opinion?
Are you saying like because they were black they looked to Africa?
Yes.
Yes.
In sync. During the civil rights movement with people like Malcolm X, there was a pretty big like looking towards Africa as like their origin country, wanting to either return to that or like resemble that somewhat. And a lot of them rejected Christianity because they thought that it was like forced upon them during like slavery. So then they, like in the same way that Malcolm X rejected his last name, the same way they rejected his last name and replaced it with X, he did it with Christianity because he thought that it was forced upon him. And he looked towards Islam because he wanted unity with all black people and brown people internationally, which Islam he thought represented that more.
Can I ask a question about that, right? Because
I actually knew none of that, just to be clear.
My understanding of history is
that's very believable, Instinct.
You got me, dude.
Am I coming across loudly enough?
Yeah, dude. Sorry, midnight.
No, it's okay. I just I changed some of my cables. I wasn't sure. See, one of the things I've always wondered about is I've heard, I feel like I've read, but I've at least heard that the introduction of Islam to Africa comes from slave traders. So it's always an odd thing that they reject Christianity but accept Islam. Islam was a religion associated with slave trading their people.
Midnight?
Yeah.
When you say Africa, do you mean sub-Saharan Africa?
I mean the
Berbers. The Berbers were introduced to Islam much, much earlier than...
Okay, yeah. I don't fully know the history. I just have been told that Islamic religion condoned slave trading quite early, so you got some Islamic slave traders.
Yes.
So slavery is universal.
So Islam is very inclusive. I don't know.
Inclusive.
But whatever. If you're a Muslim, you're pretty much safe, but everyone else is fair. A fair target. So one of the big reasons why Islam was so spread so fast is because it's a religion either you're with us or you're against us, and being with them didn't mean that much. Actually, it wasn't that hard for anyone to succeed. Maybe that's the wrong thing. Accepting Islam wasn't a big thing versus being against them, right? So
just to be clear though, are we talking about accepting the fact that there are people who are Islamic in your country, or are we talking about accepting a Sharia state or the caliphate or something like that.
What I'm talking about, like the Prophet Muhammad, right? When he started raiding caravans and stuff like that. Basically,
yeah.
if
So,
you wanted,
but that's the establishment of the caliphate, right?
Well, it wasn't really
like the caliphate is the Muslim empire.
Yeah, but it wasn't that by at the time. You know, you had a caliphate later on, like several caliphates.
Say accepting. It
was basically like a protection. How could I say this? Like the mob. Not like the mob. That's weird. So basically, if you converted to Islam, you wouldn't be raided or attacked anymore, right? Which a lot of people thought was really good. So that's what happened. So anyone who didn't convert, they would become slaves if they were powerful enough to take them, right? So that's why slave trade is okay in Islam, but it's not okay with Muslims. Does that make any sense?
Well, also you gotta remember, you gotta fucking was it the jizya tax, which it's heavy tax levied on non-believers.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's a protection fee, right? So it's yeah.
Wait,
don't they also tax other people of the book who aren't Muslims?
Well,
I'm pretty sure they do.
I mean, the one of the bigger problem with Islam, in my opinion, is that Islam, in its sense, is anti-intellectual. So what happened is that you had this. I'm gonna have to look up the name of the caliphate, but it was really big. It was really scientific and everything like that. They invited people from everywhere, even though they taxed them quite heavily. They introduced them and they wanted science, but then Islam basically just started killing people that were intellectual. Right?
I think
they just started.
The better example would be is there was an Islamic scholar who was the August of Hippo of Islam, who his whole shtick was that nothing but Allah was, I guess what you could say was the answer to any universal question. So that pretty much prevented mathematics from becoming a prominent part of Muslim culture. So you had these, you had the fucking Islamic Golden Age, and after that, you never really saw the resurgence of any Islamic scholars.
Yeah, I'm trying to find. I think it's the Umayyad Caliphate. No, that's Cordoba. Never mind.
Umayyad, the Cordoba would be a good example of Islamic scholars.
Yeah, but it wasn't Umayyad Caliphate. That was earlier as well. That's
I think Abbasid, maybe Fatimids.
Yeah, but this is the problem when Islam became more radicalized, which happened here. They started killing every scholar, like everyone who was an intellectual, or just drove them away.
I think more of if you want to go really into it, the biggest issue with Islam today is Wahhabism, which is extremely.
I don't know. Like, I feel like that's more of a consequential issue because there's lots more fundamental issues with Islam.
Well, the whole reason is the reason you're seeing a lot of terrorist attacks today is because Wahhabism declares, jihad to be an extremely valid way to, spread Islam.
I'm pretty sure that jihad is valid in every interpretation of Islam. It's just they differ on what jihad means.
Yes. See, there's jihad really isn't a good example of crusade.
No, but jihad means spiritual struggle, right?
Yeah, spiritual struggle, which is, it's very different in interpretations.
I mean, I can definitely understand how people interpret that to mean crusades. Like a physical struggle between the spiritual traditions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Wahhabism is what I'm talking about, which took it, pretty much one further. Like Sufism itself is pretty bad, but Wahhabism took it to the point where, the only way that jihad could be interpreted was holy war, which obviously isn't good for anyone who's not Muslim. Or actually, for that matter, Shia. But of course, the Shia might be. I'm not sure if they're worse than the Sunni at this point. They might be.
God, do you remember who? I think it's Shias who believe there's a future Messiah. This is also prominent to a lot of the way that where ISIS were so. What? Yeah, future Messiah in Islam. I can't remember what the fuck his name is.
No way, dude. Every interpretation I've ever heard of Islam says that Muhammad was the last prophet.
Yeah, but this is the Messiah coming in. He's coming in the end times. That's why they want everyone to fight each other. But I need to
Messiah being who?
Mahdi. Yeah, his name is
I
Mahdi.
mean, if you want to, here's a good way that would have solved the issue that we have with Islam today, which was just keep the Ottomans in power, because the Ottoman sultans were caliphs. So, by any reason that they would be an extension of the Islamic faith themselves. So any problem that you could just solve about Islam, you could just push through the Ottoman sultans.
Cool.
So yeah, there you go. That's the Islamic Messiah, Mahdi, and he's coming when everyone is warring at each other. He will save Islam, basically. So
he's basically like.
I mean, it's not like a fundamental part of the belief, though. It's like.
Not necessarily.
Like it's one of the add-ons. It says that it's popular, but it's not an essential doctrine.
No, but not everything is. I mean, do you know?
No, but I just mean if it's not. Yes, of course, but I'm just saying like. There's like quite a big distinction to be made between the stuff that's written in Hadith and the stuff that's written in the Quran.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying like I can understand like it's very interesting. I'm just saying like as far as I know in the Quran it doesn't talk about this at all.
No, but what I'm saying is that this is often used for when they want to incite violence or terror. So that this if they bring on the end times, right? Like a big, huge war and stuff like that, where Islam is threatened, he will come. This is obviously something that is used, and it was used in ISIS as well, as a reason why you kind of created chaos, right? Like, we can do this because if we do it, he will come. He will save everyone.
The easiest way to dispel ISIS would define their leader and do a blood test on him, because if he's not, likely chances are he's not a direct descendant.
That wouldn't get rid of ISIS, dude. Are you thinking of ISIS as like a top-down organization?
Hold on, just let me finish though. A majority of their support would go away. As far as ISIS as an organization, it wouldn't destroy their belief system.
Haven't we assassinated like 3 leaders of ISIS?
Yeah, dude.
We've assassinated quite a bit, but we haven't got quote unquote the guy yet. But the point is, if we can prove that
that's the problem. We won't get the guy.
He's not talking about killing them. He's
I'm not talking about killing you though. If we can prove that he's not a direct descendant of Muhammad, then his claim to the caliphate would be invalid.
Yes, but they just wouldn't believe you. They'd say it was America presenting misinformation.
Possibly, I don't know. It could discourage a lot of people. Could discourage a lot of people in Western countries from going to join ISIS. Yeah, possibly. So, just a few words for thought, really. So what is the topic?
We have definitely killed a couple of their leaders, dude.
We've killed quite a few. Yes, we have.
So like what? I'm confused about what you mean by like the guy. Who's the guy?
What was his Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi?
Yeah, Abu Bakr.
So the current one.
The literal person who claims that he's a direct descendant of Muhammad and that he's in fact
that guy's responsible for
loads of Muslims claim.
What if you ate through your asshole?
I'd assume if your jaw was in like a quantum state, then that chewing would not be the least of your concerns.
Right. The fucking black hole around your mouth would be.
I mean, technically, if the black hole led to your stomach, you'd still get nutrients. Maybe? I don't know.
You guys like black holes?
It would also consume your stomach at the same time, so... I don't know. I guess. Maybe it'd be a problem. Maybe it wouldn't. We don't know. I don't think we've done a lot of experiments with black holes, ever. I don't think we've done any experiments with black holes. Can someone back me up on this one? Alright, Mr. Sin of fucking lust. Now, what the fuck was I talking about?
So what mutation do you think is going to be the next one for humankind?
Ass mutations.
Like what's the benefit of no hair?
Like a second asshole for like double penetration.
I know there has been like a slight increase in people born with 2 penises, so.
Yeah, from 1 to 2, right?
It's extremely rare. It's like fucking 5 million maybe.
Maybe
It's
the appendix just
1 in 5, 1 in 6. There's one.
Yeah.
Famously, there was. I think there's been more cases reported since that. The one individual that has 2 fully functional penises came out, did that AMA on Reddit a few years ago. Since written a book about his experiences.
And it's
he does
in
have
one,
pictures on his Twitter, Brian, if you're interested.
Yeah, in one one is 1.5 inches longer than the other one.
Are you saying you're not interested in that, Brian? I thought that'd be right up your alley.
It's pretty cool to look at, actually.
No, are you interested in women with 3 tits?
Yes.
He's got like it's fucking 2 penises. The foreskin is kind of deformed on one of them, but you know it works for the most part. I don't know how you know. I don't know how it works, but it just works.
That's very sexy, alright.
Just real quick address my closing statement to the point about mental health. I think that is so abstracted away that like you could take it one step further and say the passage of time is the greatest threat to humanity. And so like I think that it makes more sense to look at the tangible real world consequences of actions rather than the abstract, like the most abstract causes of those. To address what was Instinct's point?
But like when you're talking to someone else, right? The meaning that is the thing that's being passed between you, right? It's the thing that you intend and the thing that they interpret, right?
Yeah.
And like it's not something that you are like meaning, you're not meaning something from a certain perspective. You mean some certain thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, and what you mean by that is that you're in.
And there's 2 issues. The first one was you specified that he didn't, or you articulated that he didn't have a concern with violence, or what's the difference between this violence? You've already established that he's not concerned about the violence of the Mexican drug cartels. Why would he be concerned about the violence of Islam? Well, the violence of Islam has a significant larger chance of impacting Zychron unless he lives in the Mexican regions around where the drug cartels are dominating. Something like a terrorist attack is actually real life. Like he has an invested interest in